Greetings everybody, how you doing today? Mcdougal's here today, not Mcdoubles. We are on the Mcdougal character, and today is going to be the start of a new series in which we have this character, hopefully. We might have to reroll at some point, and we become an outlaw. Now, in order to become an outlaw, you have to get lower than neutral reputation with the law. Now, when you do this, you get a debuff called Outlaw. And when you become an outlaw, you cannot go into any faction cities. The guards talk shit about you. You cannot trade with other players, except through auction houses. But the only auction houses you can use are the ones in neutral cities, such as Booty Bay or Gadgetzan. You also cannot group with other players. And at level 60, you are permanently left on PvP mode. And by that I mean, people can attack you regardless of faction at any time. We obviously will be playing this mode on high risk, and the only way we plan to level, at least 90% of it, is going to be through killing other players, obviously starting at level 20 when we can turn on high risk mode. So, you might be wondering, what abilities did Mcdoubles choose to terrorize the server, the Whisperwind server, in fact, of Ascension WoW with as an outlaw? Well, the abilities that I chose are as follows. I began the game with Healing Touch, which is a standard heal that you see quite often. It will end up having quite a long cast time, which is the biggest downside of it, but it will heal for a lot. So if I'm able to get some distance, or maybe simply just during the leveling process, is what it might be the most useful for, pre-20, or perhaps after fights. It depends entirely on if my opponent has a interrupt, but nonetheless, it will be useful for topping myself off. Now, the other three abilities I went for, or that I started with rather, might seem a bit controversial, so I want to go in depth about what the goal is for this character, but I do want to give a reason for why we chose what we chose. So the goal for this character is actually a lot simpler than it might seem, and honestly, the more I look at it, the more I think that it will actually start at level 25 due to the nature of the build, which should work perfectly fine. It's not that much of an extra level increase, but let's go ahead and go into detail about it. So we start the game off with Rend, Overpower, and Hamstring. Now, these three abilities are essential to my build, and I feel like I got incredibly lucky to have randomed them actually on my first roll. I actually got this build as soon as I logged in, and I was immediately very, very impressed. So the concept of this build is simple. We are going to end up using the talents Taste for Blood, Deep Wounds, Improved Rend, and Improved Overpower to apply various amounts of bleeds on our target, buffing those bleeds through talents, and then spamming Overpower on the person that we're attacking. With this build, Overpower should be critting almost every single time. This is going to allow us to pump out quite a lot of damage between Overpower and our bleeds, allowing us to essentially already have all the pieces for our build at level 1. However, it's very important to understand that in order for this build to work, we're going to need a couple things. First of all, we're going to need a gap closer. Now, this gap closer could take many different forms. It could be something like Charge, which takes us directly to our target, or it could be a pseudo gap closer like Sprint, which just gives us better sticking power, but also acts as a way to escape if we so need to. Now, another thing we're going to need on this account for it to succeed is a defensive cooldown of some type. Now, it would be great if we got more than one, but if we do only get one, it needs to be something relatively powerful. Some defensive cooldowns that we could use that would be very beneficial for our account would include things such as Divine Protection, Lay on Hands, Divine Shield, or even something like Power Word Shield, or another healing over time spell, just to give us a little bit more sustain. Now, when you think about it, those aren't really too difficult to attain. It's not guaranteed, but it's not the worst. For our build to be good, we needed 5 things. We needed a core to the build, in which we have with Rend and Overpower. We needed 1 heal, at least. We needed a way to slow our target down, which we got with Hamstring. We needed a defensive cooldown, which we're still hoping to attain. And we need a gap closer, or a pseudo gap closer of some kind. So, when you think about it, we didn't actually get such a bad build at all. Now, a lot of people might take a look at it and not think that it's that much, but that's obviously a min-maxer's mindset, and that's a good thing to have. That way you don't take 5 years AFKing at your keyboard or using some kind of mod or add-on to reroll your abilities in Duratar for literally ever, just to get the best possible set of abilities that might not even last you if you get unlucky while leveling up. So the idea is to make the most out of what we have, but try to start with something that is at least going to be good in PvP, assuming we get somewhat lucky on our journey to level 25. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and see what I got all the way up to my journey to level 25. Alright, so let's see what the first ability is. Picklock! I actually thought it was going to be Divine Protection. I was convinced. So, Picklock isn't actually the worst thing in the world. It's not incredibly useful, but it does actually fit the theme of being an outlaw. We will be able to open our own chests, so we don't actually need anybody's help for that, which is great, since we won't be able to trade. I can see myself re-rolling this ability anyway. It did cost us 2 ability essence, which is kind of big, but we won't be using any of our rerolls until we get to level 25, with the idea of aggressively re-rolling for the low-level abilities that we know that we need. What is up, guys? So, we got our next ability, and it was Divine Protection, reducing all damage taken by 50% until cancelled. That's incorrect. I believe it actually lasts 6 seconds, so that was a tooltip error. But it is fantastic. That gives us a hard defensive cooldown. So now all we need is a gap closer. So we are 1 step closer to our goal by level 25. Alright guys, so the other ability that we got was Defensive Stance. Now, this ability is not going to be incredibly useful for us because I don't believe you can turn it off unless you have another stance activated or another stance to activate. This means it's just a 10% damage reduction for us, as the 10% damage taken that we would be decreasing would not really help our build too much, at least for our intended goals at the moment. This means this ability will most likely just be rolled at level 25, with the only exception that I can think of being if we were to roll the ability Thunderclap, in which case we could always turn this character into a two-handed tank build. Alright, and the next ability is...
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Hammer of Justice. Blood Rage is not great. It's possibly a reroll, but actually our build can actually use it. So it could be a lot worse. So we're just going to take it. Hopefully we keep getting good stuff. Alright, here goes. No! Oh god, slow fall. At least it was 1 AE too, which is quite bad. But actually, if I was going to get a 1 AE ability, that would be what I would want to get. That could be a lot worse. In world PvP, especially with no allies, we're going to need escapes, and I can see myself PvPing in... I did that so wrong. I can see myself PvPing in 1,000 Needles first, and as we all know, there are a lot of cliffs, a lot of mountains. Having Slowfall might be exactly what we needed to have an edge over our opponents. Let's go ahead and just jump off this and see. So that's it. And... and we're going to go ahead and put on high risk mode, obviously. Level up just a little bit faster on our way to 25. So Cure Poison is not great, but it's there. So it'll probably be, let's see, it was for some reason 2 ability essence. So that'll most likely be a reroll. But that's fine. So far, we're actually doing pretty decent. So it's okay if we get a few bad abilities here or there. Check it out, guys. Check it out. Check it out. Poisoned? Not poisoned. Shit. Yeah, never mind, guys. Nope. Remove poison. Didn't do shit. Still died. Okay. Ancestral Spirit. I was really hoping for the Flash of Light / Flash Heal, but Ancestral Spirit, it's not very useful considering we don't make friends. This will most likely just be rerolled. Alright, guys. We just hit level 24, and good god. They just gave us Beast Lore and Unending Breath as undead. This is not a good time. And we got... I hate my life. Okay, so it's time to re-roll abilities. We have decided to start off with Ancestral Spirit, as that is not something we will be using often as an outlaw. So, let's see what we get. Okay. Alright. That's not great. Alright guys, so we're actually going to go ahead and re-roll the same ability we just rolled into, which I believe was Cure Disease. If we can find it real quick, I believe it's a holy ability. So we're going to go ahead and re-roll that, as I'd rather have Cure Poison than Cure Disease for PvP if I had to choose between the two. Hopefully we won't have to. So let's go ahead and re-roll and see what we get. Oh my god, I thought it was going to be Psychic Scream. Alright guys, I guess we re-roll exactly what we got again. We do not need Shackle Undead. Or Turn Evil, sorry, it was Turn Evil. So we'll go ahead and re-roll Turn Evil. Arcane Shot. Okay, that's something that I can at least work with. Okay, that's definitely something I can work with. I have 2 equipped arrows, I believe. I don't have that. But I can easily grab some kind of ranged weapon and use this to get people when they run away from me. Or I could just move slightly out of melee range real quick and then use it. So I think we're going to have to choose Blood Rage. That's because if we were to get Thunderclap, I could still turn this character into a 2-handed tank with defensive stance. Blood Rage is usable, but it's not required in the slightest for our build, so we're going to go ahead and re-roll that. I saw Execute in there, I got excited. Frost Ward, not Frost Shock. Okay, that's equally terrible. So we have one more re-roll, and we have gotten absolutely nothing that we need. So we're going to go ahead, let's see, absorbs frost damage. It's not worth it. We're going to go ahead and re-roll. It's our last try. Can we get a gap closer or some kind of offensive ability? I see Intercept in there, or maybe that was Sprint. Searing Pain. Well, that's extra terrible. These were the worst re-rolls of all time. But alright guys, despite that, I actually think our build might be decent enough to at least continue using for the sake of what we want to do, which is to become an outlaw and level exclusively off killing other players. While we don't have a gap closer, we were able to nail Arcane Shot, which allows us to at least attack while at range. We also picked up Little Timmy's Pea Shooter for like 75 silver off the auction house, and we do have bullets for that. So we will be able to use this to at least some extent. Now, that we've reached level 25, we will be able to put 3 points into Taste for Blood, giving us a huge damage increase, allowing us to spam Overpower, which will allow us to have a lot more damage in melee, which we did not have before when we were relying almost entirely on rend and auto attacks. Alright, now that we have the build, and I'll just flash it again on screen here what my talents look like. We have 2 in Improved Rend, 3 in Deep Wounds, 2 in Impale, 2 in Improved Overpower, 3 in Taste for Blood, and then I believe we also went into the Restoration tree and put 3 in Naturalist, which reduces the cast time of my Healing Touch by 0.5 seconds and gives it a higher % chance of critically striking. The most important thing about this is that it also increases the physical damage I deal by 3%. So overall, this talent was a huge boon and makes our Healing Touch just a little bit better, as it does still have a 2.5 second cast time. But alright guys, let's find some people and put this build in action. Let's become an outlaw. Okay, so we have a few potential candidates in Camp Tarajo. I'm looking at this troll right here, and as soon as he leaves the city, we will attack him. There's also a few other people, I believe. There's this level 21, and I'm just marking them so I can see them if they run off. And then a level 22 right here. But it looks like this troll is going to be our first victim. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, we're going to get right on top of him so we can get an auto attack off and hamstring. He realized it was happening. We're going to get that hamstring off. Start spamming Overpower. Come back a bit. Get those auto attacks off. All we have to do is constantly spam Overpower and make sure Ren stays up at all times. So we're going to get back a bit. and come back in for the overpower as soon as we can. He keeps stunning us, but honestly, there was not much he could do there. Let's see what loot we got. Culture and bread. So not the best loot, but we did get 3,500 XP, and we will not be camping anybody. Not today, probably not ever. So let's see who else we can find. Alright guys, we see who we're going to attack. It's that guy right there, marked with a circle. He's actually already being attacked, so maybe we could pull up a double kill here. We're not exactly trying to be good people here. We're just trying to be an outlaw, so that's going to be the current goal. Maybe we can slow him. Alright, we actually got the slow off. That's fantastic. Now we just need an overpower proc. Gotta reapply that hamstring before it's too late. We can get the overpower proc, and we got it! Alright, we got a guy right here. Gonna try to auto attack would be nice. Get off the rend. Alright, we're gonna proc that divine protection right off the bat. Get off the hamstring. Start spamming overpower. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. It's actually insane. Alright, got another overpower off. Reapply the rend. Reapply the hamstring. I guess we didn't really need the rend at that precise moment. Alright, got another overpower. It's huge damage. We just need to get another overpower proc. There it is. Can we get the crit? And we kill him! Alright, what did this guy drop? Oh, actually dropped some useful stuff. It's not better than what we have in any way, shape, or form, but it's something. So we'll go ahead and find another person to kill. Okay, everyone, we have another guy right over here. Gonna go ahead and mark him for everybody. Hopefully we can catch up to him. Again, not having that gap closer has been a real hindrance, actually, in PvP so far, or even a pseudo gap closer of some kind. But because he turned left, it looks like we should still be able to get up to him and get off, hopefully, a hamstring. It looks like he's going for a stone. Alrighty, he went for an herb, actually. We're going to go ahead and get him now. Get the auto attack off. He has a stun. He's going to use fireball. We're going to pop divine protection. Get the rend off. Actually, it missed, so we're going to go for a hamstring. That was parried. We got the hamstring off. Got the rend off now. All we have to do is get overpower procs to win, and then dance circles around him so that he cannot get off cast. And we got the overpower proc. That should actually be it. He should just die to bleeds now, right? Yeah. It looked closer than it really was. I didn't attempt to heal or anything there because I knew I was going to win the 1v1. But let's see what we got. Buccaneer's pants, a bunch of junk. Actually, food is pretty good considering we got all of his herbs too, which we might be able to sell for something. We'll go ahead and just eat the banana. And this is not really better than what we have. But, you know, getting something is getting something. Maybe we can sell those herbs. Okay, we actually have a group of 3 here, but they're all... Actually, no. It was a group of 2, and so we're going to go ahead and gank both of these people. Go ahead and get the rend off. Now we're going to apply the hamstring. These people don't even have mana. I basically just fucking one-shot that guy. We're going to go ahead and loot his stuff and then go for the little dude over here. We got his quest item, and we'll just destroy that mid-fight. That's no problem at all. We are full of dots, but that guy is quite low, and we are just going to mount up and catch him relatively easily. Alright, we got the rend off. Now we're going to grab the hamstring. Overpower. I think we've got this kill basically without trying. Alright, and we gained a level, so we don't even have to heal. And what did we get from her? Prospector's boots. Nothing too great, but at least it is something. Alright, we got a troll right here. I don't think she realized that I'm going to attack her. Obviously, that was weird, whatever the hell just happened. Hopefully, we can catch up. That's really depressing. Not having a gap closer, man. It's a shame. It is a sure shame. And I'm not really sure why it looked like I was in melee range, but it wasn't actually letting me attack her. We will catch up eventually, as we did end up putting 2 points into the Pursuit of Justice talent, increasing our movement speed. And if she doesn't have anything like that, it should be fine, but the concussive shots are really hurting. I'm not worried about the dots or anything like that. They don't actually do enough for it to matter, rather. And she's going to run out of mana at some point. We don't want Defender. That can go away. This is just getting annoying, if I'm honest. She can't go up there, though, so we finally got her. Get the rend off. Come on. Oh, come on. Hamstring. Got the hamstring off, and now we're just going to kill her. This is going to be a very easy fight. She can't really do anything. We have another overpower coming up in a second, and that's going to do the kill. Let's see what we got. Alright. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of the first video of this series where we become an outlaw and we fuck people up. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the section below. And I will see you guys next time.